At the family reunion, my grandmother stood up and said, "Before I die, one of you needs to confess. You know who you are." The backyard went completely silent. 43 family members frozen mid-bite with forks hovering over paper plates of potato salad and barbecue. My grandmother was 89 years old and had been talking about her death for the past decade, but she'd never done anything like this before. She stood at the head of the longest picnic table, her hand gripping my cousin's shoulder for support. Her eyes scanned the crowd, slowly landing on each face for just a moment before moving on. "I'm not playing games," she continued. "I know what happened. I've known for 7 years, and I've decided I'm not taking this secret to my grave." My mother leaned over and whispered, "What is she talking about?" But I had no idea. Nobody seemed to have any idea, except someone clearly did, because I noticed my Uncle DeWitt's face had gone completely white. "In 2018, someone stole $60,000 from me," my grandmother announced. "They forged my signature and drained my savings account over the course of 3 months. When I reported it to the bank, they said there was nothing they could do because the withdrawals appeared legitimate." Gasps rippled through the crowd. My grandmother had always lived modestly. We assumed she had enough to get by, but none of us knew she'd had $60,000 in savings, or that someone had stolen it. "I hired a private investigator," she continued. "Took him 2 years, but he figured it out. I've been sitting on this information ever since, trying to decide what to do." Her eyes landed on my Uncle DeWitt and stayed there. "You have exactly 1 minute to confess, or I'm reading his report out loud to everyone here." DeWitt stood up so fast he knocked over his drink. "Mom, I don't know what you're talking about. I would never steal from you." 50 seconds. "This is insane. You're senile. You're making things up." My aunt grabbed DeWitt's arm, trying to calm him down, but he shook her off. His face was red and sweating. Everyone was staring at him now. 30 seconds. "Fine," DeWitt shouted. "Fine. Yes, I took the money, but I was going to pay it back. I had gambling debts, and they were going to hurt my family if I didn't pay." The confession hung in the air like smoke. My grandmother slowly sat back down in her chair. She didn't look angry. She looked sad, exhausted. "I spent 2 years wondering if I was losing my mind," she said quietly. "Wondering if I'd somehow spent that money and forgotten about it. Do you know what that does to an old woman? Questioning her own sanity?" DeWitt started crying. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was desperate. You let me think I was going crazy instead of telling me the truth." My grandmother's voice cracked. "You watched me sell my car because I thought I couldn't afford the payments anymore. You watched me cancel my trip to see your father's grave in Kentucky because I thought I was broke." The rest of the family sat in stunned silence. Some people were crying. Some looked furious. My mother had her hand over her mouth. "I don't want your apology," my grandmother finally said. "I want my money back. Every single penny. You have 6 months to figure it out, or I'm pressing charges. I don't care if you're my son. I'll do it." DeWitt nodded frantically. "I'll get it. I swear. I've been doing better. I stopped gambling 2 years ago." "You stopped gambling because you ran out of people to steal from." The reunion ended an hour later. Nobody felt much like celebrating anymore. DeWitt left first with his head down and his wife trailing behind him, looking shell-shocked. She clearly hadn't known either. My grandmother asked me to drive her home. In the car, she stared out the window for a long time before speaking. "I've been waiting 7 years to do that. 7 years of family dinners and holidays, watching him smile and hug me like nothing happened. Why didn't you confront him sooner?" She turned to look at me. "Because I wanted to do it in front of everyone. I wanted them all to know what kind of man he really is." "Is that petty?" I thought about it. "No, I think that's justice." She smiled slightly. "Good, because I don't regret it one bit." DeWitt paid her back in 4 months, sold his boat and his vacation timeshare. My grandmother used the money to finally take that trip to Kentucky. She passed away 8 months later, peacefully in her sleep. At her funeral, DeWitt tried to give a eulogy, but halfway through he broke down and admitted what he'd done to everyone who hadn't been at the reunion. It was the most honest thing he'd ever done. My grandmother would have appreciated that.